All right, so this is the 475 I picked up recently off eBay. It was 200 Australian dollars. I honestly didn't expect to get it. I thought it'd go for more than this. I don't know, retro gear is weird. Sometimes it goes for way more than you expect, and sometimes it doesn't go for too much. I suppose it's still, it's still a fair bit of money. It's not tested, but it's got all the components. The case is a little cracked. Let's have a look in the back. That was like that before it was shipped, though. It was shipped very well. So, I'm really hoping this hard drive works. It is a Connor, so maybe it's got a chance of working. It has had, obviously, the memory upgraded at some point, but it looks like everything else is the same. The battery looks okay. I will be taking that out, I'm sure, shortly. So I don't know if this is going to work. I've got the little dongle attached. I've not powered this machine on before. I've got my little monitor hooked up, so let's see if there's any magic smoke. Well, that's a pretty good sign. The 475s are definitely a lot more reliable than the LC1s and 2s. They basically definitely need recapping, whereas the 475s I've found do function without recapping. Now, I'm sure they do need a recap, but they do seem to work. Now, this monitor may not work with it. It's not giving me any sync yet. But I don't like the 475s can output a weird resolution, and the adapter I've got is a very basic pass-through. So it's possible that it doesn't work. I admittedly don't hear the hard drive doing anything, but it was a good sign with the startup chime. So I probably will test my other Mac first. I don't remember this setup exactly, and I've just found this VGA cable, so I don't even know if it works. So I do have a 475 I know works. It's still in storage, I think, but I will definitely be doing some more testing. So it's getting warm but not hot. Cool, well, I'll probably leave it at that. Need some more testing, but didn't blow up and it made a good sound, so it is a good start. I am sure this machine will be functional in future. Oh yeah, 95. That's cool. Cool, all right, thanks guys, see ya. So back again the next day, well, a couple of days later, with the 475. Now, I actually did a video a few years back about an LC475, and that's what this machine is. This is the same machine from that video, which I've done a fair few upgrades to it. So it's got a SCSI to SD adapter. It's got a full CPU with the floating point unit, and I think that's a 32 meg stick of RAM. I can go higher, but I haven't. And then this is the one that I'm going to replace the VRAM to expand it to, I think, 1 megabyte instead of the 512. That was kind of the last upgrade I wanted to do. Now, the reason I got this machine out is I wanted to see what was going on with, if it was like an adapter problem or a screen problem, because the other one wasn't showing up anything on the monitor. But I tested my LC1, which worked fine, and then I went back to the video and realized this is the exact same screen that I used and the same adapter that I used for this machine. Anyway, I got this one out, turned it on, and it did the same thing, chimed but no display. Anyway, that got me thinking, and I tested the battery in this one as well, and it was completely dead. So I suspect that the LC475 actually needs a battery installed to function for the display. That's my assumption. Now I've just realized don't know which battery it is, but based on this, I would say the one on the right is from 2015 and the one on the left is the new one. So if not, I'll get my multimeter out. So I think maybe the 475 requires a battery, whereas the LC1 doesn't. Goes in that way. So I'm gonna test that. I'm pretty sure, because it is chiming and no video, I'm 90% sure that is the problem. And then I will I've got a network card. I actually bought this one new off eBay, 10 years ago or 5 years ago or something, which works great. This one doesn't. Some of the other ones they have a slot for the Mathscope processor. I think my LC1 has that. This one obviously not required because it's integrated into the CPU, but yeah. So I am planning on doing an Apple Talk, local talk network. Now that I've got some space to have some machines set up. These are always a bit interesting to get in. Don't really like this adapter, the way that it sits in, but that's okay. I think it's in. But yes, I think I don't have really enough space up here in the loft area to do this kind of stuff. It's a bit annoying with the low ceiling. So what I'm thinking of doing is having stuff up here that is working, because sitting at the table is fine, but moving around and like unplugging and plugging stuff in is a pain. So I think I will use this area for my machines that are complete, if you ever have a complete machine, and yeah, and then have downstairs, I'll set up a desk for doing testing and stuff like that. So fingers crossed this works. Excellent. It took quite a bit longer than I expected, but I think partly because it's got a bit more RAM, maybe. I do miss the sound of original hard drives, so I'm hoping that the other drive does work, because I think it's cool. I actually, you know what they should do? They should put a little speaker in here and like emulate the hard drive sound. Maybe that's a bit stupid. So this machine, yeah, it hasn't really changed much since I did my video on it previously. Yeah, I really enjoyed getting this machine going. There's a lot of cool games on the LC, on the 68K platform. So yeah, I might, now that I've got a couple of these machines, I might actually overclock one. You can do a resistor mod, I think they're 25 megahertz out of the box, and we can go 33. So that'll be a nice increase. Anyway, this machine is working. So I'm not going to do anything on it. We will shut it down, and then, geez, that shut down quickly. And then I'm going to put the other battery in the other LC, and hopefully that actually works. Cool. All right, I will be back. All right, this is the new, well, I don't know if it's newer, but this is the most recent acquisition, and I've put another battery in, and fingers crossed. Really hope the hard drive works. I think it's a 250 meg or something. Yeah. I think one of my first computers had a Commodore drive. It was a PC. Ah, the screen has changed. Yes. Ah, yes. Doesn't sound too crappy either. It's always nice to find a hard drive too, because you'll get to see what someone had set up. No idea what OS it is. Oh, Wacom driver. So they had a like a touch tablet thingy about this Macintosh. So 36 meg of RAM, so it's got 4 meg on board, and then that'll be a 32 meg SIM. That's great. 7.1 OS 7.1. That's probably, to be honest, I think I've got 7.5 on the other one, but 7.1 I think is pretty good. I don't think it really needs 7.5. I don't think there's that much software that needs it, and 7.1 is definitely a lot snappier. Hey, we got some games. Oh, that's the one thing that frustrates me with the Mac. I think if you hit like enter, you can like rename files on it without by mistake, and you can't hit escape or something like that. That looks like what's happened here. Do need to get a mouse pad because this is not working very well. Hard drive is empty. View. Okay. I'll come back to that. View. So 2002, but some of these may have been, the battery may have been flat, but let's have a look at this. I don't know what this is. Mac Brickout. Oh, cool. Many hours of programming time tolerated by Elizabeth. Thanks, Elizabeth. Appreciate it. No idea how to play this. Ah, it's a mouse game. Okay, alright. Cool. Well, I might actually play that a little later. That's awesome. What else we got? What is that? Poker. That one almost looks like... I was going to say it almost looks like a uni student's software design project or something, this game. Chess++. Semantics chess. Cool. Alright, well, this machine seems to be working awesome. Mac Checkers, Mac Football, and sample games. Oh. Ah, that's for Mac Checkers. Okay, cool. Well, that machine works and it is flying. It is so fast. 7.1 is definitely, I reckon, the way to go. Disk cache, virtual memory, so I can turn that on. 32-bit addressing, I should turn that on. I thought if you had 30-bit addressing, largest unused block, yeah, so you need to turn on 32-bit addressing to, and I'll bump up the cache size because I've got so much RAM, to let it use all the memory. I don't know why there's some weirdness with macOS. It was, because it was originally for 68,000 CPUs, maybe some address lines or something, so it had some, depending on what mode it ran in, 24-bit memory addressing or something was limited, and then if you use 32-bit, there are some applications that didn't support it, I think, and that setting is lost, I believe, when the battery goes flat. So a good one to change, and hopefully it means I will have a lot more usable memory. Yeah, cool. So it's gone up from 6 meg to 36, so that's pretty cool. Only 2 meg of RAM is being used by the OS. That's awesome. Cool. Well, I think that's all I'm going to do on this machine for now. It is working. the caps all look original, but as I said, the 475s, they all seem to have much better, the caps are better. Now, probably still worth replacing them, actually. Oh, it's just some dust. Is probably worth replacing them, but I have quite a few machines that need some love. One of them actually is, I don't know which one it is, one of these 475s is actually an LC1. When I purchased it, the case had a different fascia on it, and but that one I fully recapped. Other than the line level cap, the big one in the power supply, I did all the other caps in the power supply, but not the big one. Hilarious. It was like the first recap job I ever did, and it's terrible. But I love this machine because of it. It's so, like, LC1 is slow and pretty crappy. But what I did originally was I recapped half the power supply, and then that got it working. And then I was using it, and then a few months later it stopped working. And then I think I recapped the motherboard completely. It was working great. Then again, it stopped working, and then I finished recapping the power supply. And I powered this on the other day, and it's still working. So it's pretty cool. I just have a bit of an attachment to that one, even though it's not very useful. I probably should put OS 6 on it, because it is running OS 7, which is a bit slow for an LC1. So yeah, cool. That's a little bit of Mac retroing in the new house. I'm sure there'll be a lot more, but I thought I would do this a little quick thing to get me going. Cool. Thanks, guys.